What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? Master, how you doing? So, we don't know for sure. We don't have a hard cutoff date yet, but last Friday, they said that they're going to run the PTR for one more week. So, I'm assuming the PTR is going to end today. Don't know that for sure. Additionally, we got some big DDA news upcoming on the Chromatic dev stream. Now, traditionally, they're going to put up a forum post prior to the dev stream. So we'll have to see if they do that. We'll have to keep an eye on the forum post. And then we'll check that out as too. But then I'm going to watch the dev stream as well and see what they have to say. I'm excited to see what's coming. I mean, you know, we all know that DDA needs some love. And I'm all about it. So hopefully it gets it, right? So one thing on the PTR that I have not really messed with much that did get a buff was the LTs. So I want to play around with some LTs this morning, this afternoon for Mini. Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see there, Dizzy. Don't let past issues completely take away any excitement or enjoyment you might have. Figure if it's not real news and it's a letdown, we can all complain about it later, right? And it'll at least provide us with a day's worth of entertainment, no matter what. All right, let's do ALK on a Lycan King bonus wave and see how these LTs fare. Now, the LTs are in pretty good shape on the live game. They're not terribad. I mean, they're not like a top-end meta defense, but they're not bad either, you know? All right, so let's build it out. We're going to put all the usual stuff in. I think actually probably going to even use some walls on this one. Might want to get these in first. So let's drop those, and we'll put this side in first. Then we can sneak these guys in wherever they'll work out. Something like that. All right. Now, what kind of walls do we want to use? Well, I mean, let's go square walls, right? They're the ones that got the buff. So who do we have here? I think it was not Monk that I had set up. What does he have? He's got some fused spike blockades. Let's go with those. And let's go with like a wall there. A wall there. And then are we going to be able to connect all that together with a buff beam? I mean, we definitely need one, I think. Or is that too far? That's too far there. Maybe we'll use a bigger wall. Or, you know, I could always sneak him in a little further. I could sneak him in a little closer. We'll go something like that. And like that, maybe. And I think that will allow me to tie them together. I don't want to use... I mean, it's the same DU if I went 3 and 3. But looks like we can get them there. Let's get a little reflect-deliciousness in. What's up, Ejab? How you doing? That's a little wonked on that reflect, but I think we'll be all right. And then, I mean, do we want to go traps too? I want to leave plenty left for LTs. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just enjoying what I'm assuming will be the last day of the PTR today. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but last Friday they said one more week. So that is a big assume. Let's see. What does that leave me? The LTs are 7. Yeah, getting close. Getting close. You know, people subscribe and unsubscribe all the time, so I've been doing my best not to stare at it, but it's hard not to. As far as I'm aware, I think I'm about 20,000, about 20-ish. Let me see. I can get you all an exact number here. Let me see how. I am 28 subscribers away from 50K. Getting so close, y'all. Getting so close. We'll be doing something for 50K. I don't know what yet. At a minimum, it'll be a big giveaway. All right, so we got 11 left. We still need a buff beam and a reflect over here. So let's get that in. And then if we went with a reflect, say, down the stairs at kind of a wonky angle, that would give us some good protection. And then one right here. That's going to leave 6. So we can go 2 more traps. We can go with some splodies. You make the defense fused by putting together a fusion armor set. So like a fused primitive sapper, or a fused primitive set is going to buff your 8th defense, or your 5th defense, pardon me, which is the buff beam. Let's see, 6 more. So let's go with a splody splode here. And a splody splode here. Need to get it on the buff beam. Don't like that overlap there, but it'll be alright. We will manage. We will manage. Now, assuming this is just going to completely shred through the normal waves. They aren't. They are, but they aren't. It's the same universe, and there is kind of a progressive story that goes between them. However, remember, DD2 was created by a different company that was actually owned and operated by a financial institution. So they didn't care much about story. We don't have a buff beam on that one. Actually, is this one getting it? That buff beam's not getting it. Dang it, man. I mean, we can probably live without those back arrows being buffed. What's going on, Thomas? So, like, if you went through the entire Dungeon Defender story, it's like 30 minutes of cutscenes. Like 23 or 24 minutes of it is DD1. And then the last 6 minutes is DD2 and DDA. So there is a link tying the games together, but it's not as defined as you would hope or like to see. I am going to keep checking as we go here to see if there's nothing yet. Let's see if they put up a forum post. In fact, DD, can you keep an eye on that for me? And then if they do post up news prior to the dev stream, we can switch over to it. All right, we got 1,100 left, though. I mean, might as well. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Let's just let it fly. Like I said, assuming this will be complete face roll here for the starter waves. LTs are definitely a super cool defense. We'll just pew up on that one. Really, that's going to be my... I mean, besides the bonus wave ogres, I think the main thing I'm going to have to watch for is the Jinn. I mean, even the regular wave ogres won't really be a huge issue, I don't believe. So going to have lots of gaming going on today, y'all. We know that there's big news coming today. We just don't know what it is. Chromatic put out a teaser this morning saying don't miss the dev stream as there's going to be some big news. So we're going to definitely switch over to the dev stream at noon. Did the creators extend the max level? I mean, I think that's their plan. Like, it got extended from 100 to 105 in episode 1. It was assumed that it's going to go from 105 to 110 in episode 2. Should they do it? I mean, I personally like that. I like having a new progression tier to reach. It gives you something to do other than just loot farming. You know, it gives you some form of permanent progression that you can track without RNG being involved. Sylveon, what's up? What's up? How you doing? I personally, that's one of the big draws for me personally in games like this, not just Dungeon Defenders games, but all games like this, is being able to improve on myself. You know, it's like one of the big draws for me with Diablo or Diablo 3 is the Paragon system. You know, you can keep getting Paragon levels, which is going to keep allowing you to increase your power. And I definitely like that. I can't stand it when you cap out. It was one of the super irritating things in DD2 that you cap out and then you know, I mean, obviously power creep is a thing if you don't have some sort of cap to it. But on the same note, when there is a cap to it, that marks the end of your play. You know, play is just not as exciting for you once you get to that point because you have nowhere else to go. Well, it's a UI designed with consoles in mind. You gotta remember, this game, the original reason and the thought behind them creating this game was to get a Dungeon Defenders product out on the Switch. And it just happened to be on PC and Xbox, PlayStation as well. But this game was designed with the Switch in mind. I'm not sure if that's still the plan, but that was the original plan, you know? Because there's, you know, obviously the Nintendo world, and the Nintendo universe is a very dedicated group of players, too. There's a lot of Nintendo players that only play on Nintendo consoles. So there's no Dungeon Defenders game, of course, in the Nintendo world. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of gaming going on today, though, because I'm doing a PTR and I want to test things that are getting changed. I mean, if you're playing the game and you're not just grinding the game, then you're gonna use all kinds of different defenses, you know? If you're just grinding the game and you're not actually playing, then yeah, just use meta defenses. Or you have that option. But I'm actually playing the game. I want to play. I don't care if I win or lose. I want to see what's what, how things are going. I mean, obviously, I want to win. But if I lose, it's not going to ruin my day. You know what I'm saying? The lightning towers on this test build got a little buff. And they're not terrible in the live game. They're very usable in the live game. So I just wanted to kind of get a comparison in. I'm only 28 subs away from 50K, y'all. If you're not subbed, please throw me a subscription. Hook it up. It's a 10-year milestone that I'm... Literally been 10 years. Oh, it's up. All right, let's finish this wave then, and then let's check it out. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Let's get this wave cleared out and see what the Chromies have to say. Actually, I think the rest of the wave will manage itself. Let me, unless there's ogres rolling out. Let me see if I can't find it here. Let's see now. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. See if I can't get it up on stream here. Here we are. All right, DDA Future in the Community Task Force. All right, let's check it out. Let's talk DDA. It has been a year since we have released a significant update. We're sorry, and we will do better. However, apologies don't mean anything without action, so we want to lay out a path forward that keeps our community engaged and us accountable. With that, we bring you the DDA Community Task Force. Internally, we've recently reorganized some of our structures to incorporate a small dedicated team to more readily and quickly respond to issues specifically on DDA. This team is headed up by Phil. That's a good thing. And we will be leading a handful of us to better cater to the needs of players. I can't see chat right now, by the way, y'all, with this window open, so bear with me and I'll catch up with chat after I get through these this forum post. What does that mean? This means DDA will be receiving much more frequent updates with significant changes to the game. These changes could include large meta-shifting rebalances, game mode revamps, attack speed cap, partial or full reverts, yes, seriously, or other community-requested features. We definitely expect to miss the mark on some of these changes, but with our increased ability to adapt, we will be able to take risks that we have previously been afraid of taking. So what does this mean for the future of DDA? First off, before we even continue to what this means for the future of DDA, hold your ears, kids. But fuck yeah, Phil. I mean, Phil's a great person to be in charge of that. You know, with no disrespect intended to anyone else at Chromatic, me personally as a player, I would want one of two people being in charge of the future of DDA. And Phil is one of them. So kudos, Phil. Hopefully they gave you a raise, too. I mean, we'll see about that. Well, we'll never see about that, but hopefully Phil is going to get what he deserves out of that, because Phil's a great person for the job. All right, August. This is August right now, isn't it? Yeah, this is August 5th. Two of the most apparent issues with DDA are, one, the players generally don't have enough incentive to play game modes other than survival. This is true. And two, there is not enough variety and high-level end gameplay. This is true as well. This is something we want to address while also adding features that the community wants to see. This first group of changes will attempt to address the following. Endless survival, giving players more challenges to push their gear to the limits and optimizing their builds to see how far they can progress. Dungeon Defenders has never had a true endless mode in the game. DD1 had that pirate invasion event that was endless, but that was like one specific map. And then DD2, the original Onslaught, was endless, but it wasn't challenging because the enemy's difficulty capped out really quick. So although it was technically endless, if you were capable of getting to that cap, you could just let the map run for as long as you wanted after that. So this will be the first true endless mode in a Dungeon Defenders game, and that is exciting as hell. Pure strategy rework after adding engaging goals to make playing it feel special and give better rewards. There you go, Dizzy. Dizzy D. This one is designed with you in mind. There is a rework coming to pure strategy. That's exciting to see. Thank you so much for the membership there. Oh, gift memberships. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Good Lord. I can't see on my notifications who that was. But wow. Thank you so much. All right, HUD Party Bar. This was one of the things directly requested during that Juicy May Spectacular event. Quality of life feature to see who is in your party at all times with relevant information like health level and ready up status. I mean, it's a co-op game, right? You got to see who's on your team. So good stuff there. Weapon and pet balance iteration. Taking a closer look at itemization to find areas where we can make more engaging and allow players to have more options. Nice. So, I mean, that is kind of a blanket statement. There's a lot to be told in that statement itself. cutting attack rate caps in half. Well, there you go, y'all. It wasn't many people, but there was some people that were upset about the speed caps being changed back earlier in the year. So it looks like they're going to do it. I don't think they would. I don't think they really needed to be honest. It was so few people that actually cared about that, but they're going to be looking at it and appeasing those people. Quality of life changes to bonus waves, scaling up the difficulty of the entire map as opposed to just one additional hard wave. That's kind of cool. Nothing worse than just sitting there waiting for the bonus wave to get here, right? So good stuff there for sure. And that also means more bonus wave quality loot, which is another important thing. Okay, well, we'll start making the first round of these changes this month. We expect these adjustments to be significant, so there will be another PTR available for testing as well. Awesome, awesome. Okay, episode 2. Here we go. Yay! Episode 2. We have some content in episode 2 that is ready and some that is not. In order to bring you some of the finished content sooner, we will be splitting it in 2. Okay, I can live with that. The first half of episode 2 will include runes, training, the Outcast, which is the Summoner rework, the Bazaar, and the Lost Metropolis maps. The first part of episode 2 will drop in around late September or early October, with the second half of episode 2 coming in November. If this proves to be useful, we may also decide to spread episode 3, out over several smaller updates as well to make sure that we continue to give our players continuous fresh content. Okay, so episode 3. I kind of thought that they were going to go away from the episodic content, but apparently not. Episode 3 is a thought. Okay, updated timelines. In order for this DDA community task force to be effective, we will need to update the game much more frequently. Oh, darn. Right now, we anticipate this to include 1 or 2 updates per month. Holy crap! As well as a much more utilized PTR. We will make sure to communicate any changes. Community surveys. Yep, there's going to be more surveys. And then the little social media spiel. Not too shabby, y'all. Not too shabby. Let me get my windows fixed back up and get all set up. Let's see. That was indeed Uzar. Rob, thank you so much for those gift memberships. Huge. Thank you. I mean, they can call them whatever they want. All right, let's see if we can't get caught up on chat. No release date. We just got the info of what's coming there, Lord Rymax, so a little soon to be jumping the gun and asking for a release date already. You like the Gatling towers. I mean, everybody likes fast-firing towers, but the thing is the speed caps didn't really change the game. Same game, using the same builds. I mean, you might have to do like a super small tweak. Let's see, more 105 chances? Yeah, I mean, as the level goes up, 105 stuff will be more common. Looking forward to the Summoner rework. I'm curious to see what they do, because the Summoner, the good and the bad. The good would be the Summoner is a huge fan favorite, right? Everybody wants the Summoner, myself included. The bad would be that also comes with a big expectation. So by putting the Summoner into the game, which is what people want, are they going to piss people off in the process? It depends on the delivery. You know, it's all about the delivery. Finally a step in the right direction, says Dylan. I agree. Happy for Phil. Good news for DDA. Absolutely. Like I said, Phil is a hard-working mofo, y'all. I mean, you guys know that, I mean, obviously I'm allowed to say some things and I'm not allowed to say some things, and I'm under a non-disclosure agreement on a lot of things. So there's a lot of things I know that I'm not allowed to talk about. Actually, I'm not even allowed to talk about the non-disclosure agreement, but I'm sure they'll let me slide on that one. But I see what Phil does. Now, obviously, I don't work for Chromatic. I'm not internal. I don't see the day-to-day operations. But I do know that Phil is hard at work busting his ass at ungodly hours. Phil is passionate about the game. He's passionate about the franchise. He's passionate about DDA. And really, there could not be a better person to head this whole thing up. So, hell yeah, Phil. Hell yeah, Phil. What map is the best for power leveling? I mean, as far as the actual map, it would be the Keep Survival, but the answer to that question is, what is the highest level survival map that you can do wave 20 starts on and complete quickly? Whatever the highest difficulty survival map that you can do wave 20 starts on and complete quickly is the fastest XP, or the best power leveling. No, Summoner will not use MU. They've confirmed that already. And don't have that expectation. I'm not saying that you do, but I know that there are players that do. MU was a completely broken mechanic. And if they allowed the Summoner to have its own minion units, it would mean two things. First off, they'd have to rebalance the entirety of the game. Everything. Second off, what if you don't like the Summoner? I mean, I know everybody loves the Summoner, right? But what if you don't like the Summoner? Well, then you're going to be forced to use defenses from a character that you don't want to be playing. So it's got two things in it that are just big, huge negatives. But yeah, it was completely broken. A lot of people call that the pay-to-win element in DD1, the EV and the Summoner. All right. Where were we? We got 6,000 mana to spend. I guess let's dump it all into these LTs. We got a boss wave coming up here. So now we're just going to be keeping an eye out for the dev screen, but that is super exciting news, y'all. Super, super exciting news. So here is my plan for the day now, because my plan just changed. Because that is way bigger news than I anticipated. I thought the big news was going to be, tune in next week for more news. Of news. So I'm stoked that we got actual real information. So hell yeah. Go Phil, go. So here's my plan for today. I'm going to tinker around here in the PTR. Then I'm going to, when the dev stream starts, I'm going to restream or co-host their dev stream. So the dev stream will be going right here on this stream as soon as it gets going. Afterwards, I'm gonna, well, I mean, we'll take a minute to discuss. Well, I mean, it depends. They do different things on different days. Today, it'll be all DDA. It depends on what's upcoming. You know, it's a dev stream, so they're going to cover what's upcoming. If there was a DD2 update upcoming, they would cover DD2. If there was a DD1 update coming, they'd cover DD1. Today, it's going to be all about DDA. Is the big news Phil nerfing my RNG further? Phil is not afraid to nerf my RNG, and he's quite entertained by it, in fact. Quite entertained. So anyway, after the dev stream, we'll take a minute and discuss here what went on in the dev stream. Zifla, thank you so much. Hello to you as well. And then I'm going to get a video knocked out. Random DD3 streaming coming. Maybe in 5 years. There, Ed. I would say 5 years is a good time to look out for that one. Let's just get this wave started, as I think the base wave won't be bad. Oh, it's all good there, watchers. It's all good. Just got to remember, DDA is, I mean, Going Rogue is their newest upcoming product. DDA is their most recent traditional Dungeon Defenders product that's still being worked on. DD2 still has active development, but it's slowed way down as it's, you know, it's kind of nearing the end of its life cycle. It still has things coming, but keep your expectations low, you know, or lower for DD2. And then DD1, it's all about the community. It is looking promising. And you know what? Let's throw the salt in there too. Let's throw the salt in there. How many times in the past have we heard, we're sorry, we're going to do this now in the future? We've heard it a lot of times. So I'm excited as hell, but I am also a realist. And I know that I've heard dev posts start off with that before. DD2 servers will never go down, Brian. It's a free-to-play, you know, keeping 3 servers live costs like 1 baked potato and 2 bits of pocket fuzz every month. And there's always dumbasses that are going to be like spending real like money on gold and stuff in DD2. So, I mean, DD2 servers will never go down. Or, I mean, obviously all servers go down at some point, but it would be a long, long, long time. Oh, anyway, after the dev stream, I'm going to put together a TLDW video for folks with all the news and hotness in it. And then I think I'm going to stream again later on in the afternoon, something different. Oh, DD1 has a million options. Go up a difficulty, start playing survival. Yeah, I'll be streaming the dev stream, Brian, absolutely. DD1 is a very, very, very completed product. There's 3 events going in DD1, or scheduled for this month. It's crazy. Crazy what the DD1 community has been able to do for DD1. It's something that no other games can. Well, I mean, DD2 is a free-to-play game. It has the largest player base, but you gotta remember, too, it's all very deceiving. It's quite realistic to think that there could be more people playing DD1 than DD2, even though the numbers show more DD2 players. And that's because, like, a large portion of the player base is multi-boxing in DD2. A large portion of the player base is doing that in DD1 as well, but in DD1, when you multi-box, it's all on the same account. Where in DD2, if you got one person playing 4 accounts, it counts as 4 players. So it's a very deceiving question to ask, and it means it tells nothing. Because DD2 being a free-to-play game, as far as like the game's success or the direction of the game, it matters how much money the game is making, not how many people are playing it. If it was a retail product, you'd be able to kind of gauge how many sales the game has had and how much money has been made off of it. But since it's a free-to-play product, and knowing that only like 2 or 3% of players in free-to-play games actually spend money, you know, for an equal comparison, you'd have to assume that you'd have to have like 50 times more players. If it was 2%, it would be 50 times more players. And assuming that every free-to-play player spent the same amount of money as the retail cost of DDA. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of assumptions there. I mean, as far as the player base, there's no way to find that number. None of the places publish that stuff. I mean, sometimes devs will put it out there. We had, you know, 1 million people playing whatever over the weekend, you know. Sometimes devs will do that, but that's all private numbers. So the information we get is all information that is, it's picked up through an API and it's guessed. And we can't, you know, we have no way of checking consoles. We used to be able to check consoles. All right. Well, here we go, the bonus wave. Let's see what happens. Don't get me wrong, DD2 is a great game. I'm not saying it's not. It's a wonderful game. But don't look at DD2 and say, DD2's got 400 players and DDA's only got 50. DD2 is way more successful. That would be a completely ignorant statement of someone who just doesn't even remotely understand business or profitability. I mean, DD2 was in early access for years and years and years and years, and many players say that that was the best time in the game. So, I mean, remember, it's not a game that's been out since 2017. It's like when 7 Days to Die finally launches. It didn't just launch. The game has been out forever, you know? It's the current meta from developers of ways to get some profitability going in their games prior to the game launching. And I like it. I mean, I like seeing the how a game develops over the course of its life cycle. A lot of people don't, and that's fair too. You know, we've all got our favorite ways to play. DD2, we know that Chaos 10 is coming. But besides that, we don't really know what else is on the horizon. These bosses got pretty uppity here. Yeah, DD2's got a glorious art style, there's no doubt. The issue there is they were trying to recreate the magic of DD1, and they chose a bad art style, even though right when they first announced the game, people were like, we don't like it, you know? So, I mean, I think that's DDA's biggest fail overall from the very beginning, is that. Well, I mean, assuming you did the right thing there, Sylveon, you're at the point of the game where you decide when you're done with it. Ancient Power past the first reset is completely optional. The majority of players usually end up... the fun starts falling off because you don't have progression anymore. Assuming you did a proper reset and went to Chaos 9 first. Well, I mean, you'll find that you don't really gain anything once you get past the... Once you know, your first reset, you go to Chaos 9 first, you get max Ancient Power caps. That's like 95% of the overall power you're going to gain from Ancient Power. So the rest is just mindless grind. Get your Netflix game in order, would be my suggestion. Because it is all about AFK at that point. But anyway, enough about DD2, because we got good shit coming in DDA. I'm excited for that dev stream to start. I want to see if they give us any more details. What time is it anyway? Oh, we still got like 30 plus minutes. Alright, so I gotta watch the ogres here. And I don't want to get my walls burnt up. I'm gonna watch these siren bombs too. The change to the siren, I feel like right now all of my LTs are focusing the boss, which is kind of a problem, really. Oh shit, I accidentally stealthed. God, I screwed myself so bad. You can't stealth on this fight. Or the boss will aggro to your defenses. Luckily you went to that wall and not to LTs. Well, I mean, you could stealth if you're playing or played a group, but certainly not solo. All right, there we go. We got him. Yeah, like I said, it's choosing your ending. The reason no one goes for 999 except like 1/100th of 1% of the entire player base is because you'll find that you got many hundred hours of AFK grind with no reward to get to a point that's non-AFK grind that requires a group that's RNG based that still has no reward. So Onslaught is the worst thing they did to DD2. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and go on and on about DD2 all day, though. That is the old hotness. We're looking at the new hotness. Yeah, I mean, the wall survived a boss hit. And it didn't take much damage at all, to be honest. So in that one situation, it worked out well. The problem is when there's a bunch of enemies built up, you know? Alright, we got Pooh there. We got Pooh there. We got Pooh there. And we got Pooh there. We got nothing good. That's alright, though. LTs did pretty good, really. And really, even as far as the ogres. So, I mean, that was a very small change. But it was definitely a good one, you know? Let's try, what's another good LT map? Let me make sure my inventory didn't get spammed. No, it didn't. What are these things putting out? Let me see. Where were you? When they're fully buffed against rifted enemies. I'm gonna have to turn numbers back on. Alright, take it easy, man. Have fun. Tooltip DPS 275,000. Remember, it's double against rifted enemies, so that's what, 500 and change? Actually, still going up. It's doing a little more than that. Let's turn the numbers on real quick and see what it is per tick. $356K per tick. So yeah, that's actually over. It's over 1 million DPS. But considering it's chaining around, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So what is another good LT map? Let's see. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. I mean, I think Magus Quarters is probably the best. Deeper Well, of course, is a good one. Tornado Valley wouldn't be super difficult, I don't think. You know what? Let's try. Do we want to try Throne Room? Not so much. Royal Gardens. Arcane Library might be a good one. Let's try Arcane Library. A little Lycan King action. I'm pretty stoked about those bonus waves. There still needs to do more, I think, to walls to make it so that that's a viable element. In my opinion, anyway. Alright, let's see. How do we want to do this? Let's go with those there. We'll go with gas there and there. Put another gas here just for good measure. Where were my walls? Oops, that's not walls. We're gonna need, let's see, we'll definitely need a reflect beam there anyway. Let's throw one right there. And then let's see, what about up here? Well, up here we can do 2 R stacks. I don't want to spend all of the mana though, is the thing. We can go like 1 R stack here, or I don't want to spend all the DU I meant on R's and whatnot. Feel free to ask whatever you want, there, watchers. Let's see. So we're gonna need. Let's go with a wall here with a reflect beam. Now these walls aren't going to be buff beamed, which could end up ending in travesty here. We'll have to find out. Go with a reflect beam here as well. Where do we want to go LTs? I'm thinking, do we go down here or do we go up here? I like up here better. Actually, you know what? I could do this. Just make this one bigger. And still cover those two. Yeah, I didn't get gas traps down here either. No, the reflect beam is not a wall. There's another wall that's a physical beam. That is a wall. So you could, if you wanted to use just the EV, you could go something like that. So that's, oops, that's a proton beam. So this one would be a actual wall. This one would just be a projectile shield. Alright, so what do we got left? Let's see. Well, we actually got enough for quite a few. I'm going to need to leave some room for reflex in here too. That's 7 of them. Let's do that. And then we can get some reflex and then maybe another trap down. I think I'm going to boost this one. What do you guys think? Play Boosty Boy on this one? Having a big LT stack like this? That's all about the reflect range. I don't know how reflect or how the range, or not the reflect, the chaining. I don't know how range is calculated. It's a little wonky, huh? Like, is the reflect total range include the bounces? You know, that I'm not really sure exactly how that works. But I mean, yeah, LTs and DD1 are glorious. And that leaves me 4. I'm kind of inclined to go with a buff beam here, because I know that this could be a tough lane. Can we go all the way over and hit this gas trap as well? Let's see. Nah. So close. Actually, I could move the gas trap a little closer. Actually, I'm pretty close now. Let's just do this. And then that will give me 1 for reflect. Stay right there. Alright, let's play Boosty Boy on this one. Well, I mean, they said the attack speed's cut in half. If the attack speeds are cut in half on the Poons, that's going to put them a whole lot closer to where DD1 Poons were. I mean, DD1 Poons are a thing of glory, mystique, and wonderfulness. So will they ever be to that stage? Probably not. But they are doing pretty damn good. Alright, so let's check this out playing a Boosty Boy here. The question is going to be, are my LTs going to reach into that doorway down there? And they really, really need to. The dev streams are normally an hour, watchers. If you don't have the time to watch it, I'll be posting a TLDW video up shortly afterwards. I mean, it'll take me a couple hours to get it completed. Harpoons are the better version of the ballista from DD2. I know you're more familiar with DD2. Ballistas are the disappointing version of harpoons. So disappointing, in fact, that they couldn't call them harpoons. They had to call them ballistas instead. Y'all can do me a huge favor and hit the like button. Helps me out in the Google algorithm. Or if you don't like it, hit the don't like button. Either way, but hit one of them buttons. Either love it or hate it. Either way, it's going to help me out. This one's going to boil all down to the bonus wave. I mean, it always does at this point. That's one of the things that make that upcoming change such a good thing. Yeah, ballistas. I mean, ballistas aren't terrible in DD2. They're just not DD1 harpoons. That's the biggest complaint. For people that never played DD1, which is quite a few in the DD2 world, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, you know? I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, Zifla. But I'll definitely have some sort of a giveaway for sure. I'm going to reach out to a few developers and try to get some game codes. Oh, if there was any way for me to speed up the arrival of episode 2, I would do it, but that's not something that's in my power, sadly. Giving away DD2 episode 2 patch, that would be awesome. Well, that's the thing, is that doesn't guarantee it either. If you went to Chromatic and said, here's $1 million, speed episode 2 up, you have no guarantee that $1 million would be spent on speeding episode 2 up, you know? $1 million could end up going into cocaine and hookers. We don't know. The money is definitely not the solution. I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt, but it's not the solution. And if you've got $1 million to throw away, I can give you a dozen other ways to spend it. So don't do it if you are, for some reason, a closet multimillionaire that wants to throw $1 million at something. I can give you many ways to spend it. So don't do that, whatever you do. Certainly not in a casino. Well, that would be suggestion number 1, Brian. Suggestion number 1, but you know, you're talking that kind of bacon. You know, we'd be talking partial ownership of the channel. Well, I can tell you, as someone who has worked in the casino business for 20 plus years, any money you spend in a casino should be looked at as purely entertainment purposes, and you should have no expectations of winning. Never, ever go and gamble in a casino because you need the money. It is like a dark path that you would be starting down. All right, well, I mean, these LTs are clearing pretty good. Let's look at them, their damage dealt versus something else. Like, which one did the most? 250 million damage, 185, 230, 166, 264. So it looks like the busiest one did 264. Well, I was a table games dealer and then pit boss for many years, random. The problem with that is then you don't get tipped. So, I mean, anytime you go into a casino and a dealer wants you to lose, you need to take a look in the mirror, because you are a complete asshole. That's the only way a dealer would really want you to lose. You know? You're a go for your own? That's so rare these days. We had in Vegas back in the day, I was working at the Rio. In the Rios, the Rio had like a 2 or 3 week period where it was go for your own. And people like myself who were really comfortable talking to people absolutely cleaned up. In fact, I ended up buying a new car off of that 2 weeks, paying cash for it. But the dealers who were good, reliable employees who were not as successful with having customers tip them, those guys didn't make anything. So they ended up changing it. It only went for like 3 weeks. Yeah, that's definitely a very uncommon thing. I mean, like I said, I've been in the casino business for I don't even know how long. I think I was in the casino business 25 years. From blackjack dealer to floor supervisor to craps instructor. And yeah, it depends on the person. If it's a waiter or someone that works in the service industry and they lose their money, yeah, there's a really good chance you're still going to get tipped. Because if not, they're going to feel bad, you know. But boy, that is a rarity. I actually just had a class end. I'm currently unemployed because I didn't take a full-time job with the casino. Well, I'm not unemployed. I do some Uber driving on the side. Craps you couldn't really teach someone properly on a YouTube video. It's a hands-on game. You got to have your hands on the checks and on the dice to learn how to deal that game. But yeah, we had a craps class go from, what was it, like the end of January through probably 6 weeks ago or so it ended. Well, that and just the pressure, you know? Like, all of the formulas on a craps table are all very, very simple math that anyone could complete that was watching an online video. But can you get that super, super simple math right? Could you get that super, super simple math right with a bunch of people staring at you and a bunch of people waiting and having to do it 10 times within a short period? And that's where craps becomes more of a challenge. That, and it's physically demanding. Your back is going to get fucked. For lack of better terms. I do apologize for that one. But yeah, your back is going to straight up get wrecked. Alright, so we are at bonus wave. I mean, it's the same thing with blackjack, really, too. I mean, anybody could do the math on doing a blackjack payoff, but can you do it fast over and over and over and over and over again? And that's why casino dealers get so many breaks. You should get whoever you think looks the most fun there, Jay. DD2, what heroes you have, assuming you have the EV already, what heroes you have just don't matter. The power level on DD2 is completely blown out of proportion and just doesn't matter. Roulette is super easy to deal. Roulette is the opposite. It wrecks your wrists. I can vouch for that 100%. I was a roulette dealer 5 nights a week on the Strip in Vegas during Vegas's prime time for at least like 7 years straight. And I've had carpal tunnel surgery on both of my hands. I mean, the math becomes really super easy on roulette too, because it's all pitcher bets, you know. But nowadays they got auto muckers that pick up all those chips. But back in the day, you had to rack those chips in between every spin, unless the casino had a big staff on that day and could afford to have a mucker there for you. I actually enjoy dealing roulette. The problem with blackjack is you go into robot mode too easy and then start drooling on yourself. It's very, very easy to kind of automate yourself dealing blackjack where you're completely off in la la land. You know? Roulette, the night goes by a little quicker. But it does tear up your hands and your wrists. Let me tell you, dealing roulette on New Year's Eve on the Strip go into... that depends on the casino, the demand, what's going on, and their staffing or whatever. But, I mean, say it would be the same as most places. Usually, an 8-hour shift. But there's, you know, there's lots of breaks. That's why I ended up starting to play Arc Nights. Because there's so many breaks when you work as in casino table games that you need to entertain yourself. Why am I trying to cast devices? I'm sitting here spamming devices on this guy. Alright, well these got chewed apart a little. That's pretty generous there then. Most, like the industry standard now is hour and 20 minutes with a 20-minute break. Which is still a lot of breaks for most people. But boy, let me tell you, when you're standing there dealing blackjack and you gotta pee, oh yeah. That hour goes by so slow. Ooh, the core getting tore up. I lost 20 DU. What did I lose? I lost my buff beam here, right? Yeah, so I lost several walls. I lost a buff beam. Really, really super close to losing this core. Actually, I think we're going to lose the core. Too many Dark Elf Warriors. Oof. Big sketch. Talk about sitting on 1 HP here. We are sitting on 1 HP. Shit, wall down. God damn it, I didn't get to it in time. Oh! And the Sharkin got me. It wasn't bad, though. I mean, the build was not great, because, see, the problem there is these LTs, you look at their range, they weren't reaching all the way into that doorway. So, I mean, like, right here may have been a better place to build them. Or even split the stacks and have, like, some here and then some over here. But what I could have also done is like drop one of these LTs and then go with a DST shooting down into that side. That would have resolved it. Oh, you don't have to wait 2 months, Elemental Pink. They said that there's updates coming in August. Endless Survival is one of those things. That's huge. Huge, huge, huge. There is no 100% watchers. Yeah, Endless Survival. First time in a Dungeon Defenders game that we've had a true Endless Survival. So we got 5 minutes until the dev stream starts. I'm curious to see what they do with Pure Strat, too. Pure Strat isn't for everyone, but I personally like it. Yeah, but see, DD2 wasn't true Endless Survival, though, Max. The enemy's capped out, so it was just how long do you want to let it run? Like, once you got to, I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like wave 25 or wave 30 or something. The enemies were capped, and they no longer went up. So it was just, if you could handle that wave, you could handle an unlimited amount of time. Just sit there and let it run. So it wasn't an actual true survival. Or a true endless mode. If you can't get better loot in it, you don't want it. Well, you don't know whether you can get better loot in it or not. So don't assume, you know. I live in over by Spokane now, random. But yeah, I taught the craps classes in casinos from, what, Three Rivers in Oregon. I taught it in 3 different casinos in Oregon. Yeah, see, I lived further south. I lived down by the Oregon border. But I taught at, in Lincoln City, in Coos Bay, and then, Three Rivers. Alright, so 5 minutes to the dev stream. What can we do, in 5 minutes before we switch over and watch that? Power and range. I mean, that's not a terrible item. But I don't even know who I would want to use it on. Oh, look at this crap fused baby dragon. What a bummer on that one, huh? Actually, it doesn't matter because this is all going away. The PTR will go down, I'm assuming, at the end of the day today or sometime soon. Let's see, they don't have, they haven't put anything else up, have they? Let me check through, Discord messages and whatnot. Nothing there. They are still offline on the main Chromie stream. So nothing there quite yet. I guess we could try, I don't know if we'll have time to finish it, but let's try, that's campaign. Check out a Magus here. Yeah, they're favoring going rogue. I mean, it's not that necessarily their favorite, but that one is getting the most development right now. DD2 has between 1 and 3 people working on it. Assuming DDA will be similar to that, and then the entire rest of the team is focused on going rogue.
This pepperoni
oh, looks like they just started.
Oh, no,
I just had an ad pop up. A chromatic Twitch ad. So it looks like we got 5 minutes until they're going to get started. As soon as this ad's done playing, I'll switch over there. Right, let's see. What do we want to do here? Let me switch my windows back too. We're going to have a lot of DU to spend on this one. We'll be showing it right here when they get started, Brian. They got a countdown timer going now. What do we want to do? I mean, we could throw one Splody here for... the LT-ness. We got a lot of DU left. I'm wondering if I should put those in the back. I don't want to put them in the back, though. We're going to throw one wall down, I believe. We'll put one wall right here. I'm going to need a bunch of reflects. Let's see what we can do for these LTs first. Not gonna have enough to do everything I want to do. That leaves me 8, which we are going to need an ass load of reflect beams on this one. Do I just do this? 2. 2, and then that leaves me 2 left. We can go 1 there. And 1 here. I wonder if it's gonna work. They'll have giveaways on their stream. Which, you know, on YouTube, it's kind of difficult to do giveaways on a live stream, so I can't really do any giveaways here on this stream. Let's see how we do. Well, we just completely evaporated that copter ogre, so... Ex-wife got smoked, too. This looks like completely melting. Let me check, Let me check and see where they're at here. Looks like they got 1 minute left. So let's, well, we can finish this wave out, probably. And then we'll switch on over and check it out. Right, let me just go ahead and switch it over now. So let's see here. How do we do this? We can go like this, maybe? There we go, there we go. Let me kill the music, because they're going to have their own audio going. And then... we'll give them a little audio here. Oh, perfect timing.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to our Friday Fun Day stream with some DDA news.
Fancy seeing you here. Got some good stuff here today. Little bit. We kind of did patch notes a couple. It's been a
Go Phil, go Phil, go.
Bringing our little patch note format back, even though it's we're gonna play a little bit here at the end. But we're going to take some time at the beginning of the stream to
I'll turn them up.
kind of go over our big announcement, or more like, I guess it's an announcement, but it's also like a new direction for
It's
DDA.
a look at the future.
So, yeah. And Phil, I mean, if you want to take us away,
there you go.
It's kind of your baby to a degree. So I'm just here to yell about it. So.
I mean, yeah. So we put out a post. So if you want the full details, there's a link. Post it again in chat. There's a link right there.
Phil is louder than
I mean, let's kind of
Andrew.
just get into it. So the first thing that's changing is we kind of realized that things need a new direction, and so we are going to be forming what's quote unquote a community task force, which just
I pick that name out, by the way. It's super good, I promise. No, it is what it is. I mean, it gets the point. So.
It's essentially just we're creating a dedicated team that will solely focus on DDA. So we're not going to be bouncing around between projects, stuff like that. And so we're going to be able to respond a lot quicker to community.
It's an internal task force. I don't know why they call it the community task force.
Open and transparent.
There will be no community involvement.
The timelines and kind of what's going on behind the scenes.
I'll tell you what that was.
This might mean, significant changes to the game, whether that's, like we said in here, large rebalancing issues or like rebalancing things to be better, or making game modes feel better. Potentially looking at attack rate caps, either partially or fully. We'll get to that in the future, but really the limits are endless, and so we're just going to be doing whatever is needed to get the game into a better state. And so if that's mainly going to be listening to a lot of the community feedback and just going with that.
And while we're kind of starting this, guys, as you notice, I dropped the first hashtag in chat, hashtag community task force. Copy and paste that, gets you in. Also with these notes, at the end, there is a survey to take. Make sure you take that. You will be entered in a drawing for pizza wings. And then, yeah, kind of like Phil was saying, one of the things that's going to happen here is our updates are going to be a little more frequent. Well, significantly more frequent, because of the previous rate of our updates has not been timely. But
You
we
think?
we expect to. Well, I mean, there's going to be things we're going to miss the mark on. We're going to push the numbers too high, take the numbers too low on certain things, and some things I'm sure at some point will not feel good. That's how we want to miss. We want to, shoot these shots, and we're not going to hit with all of them, and that's why we're kind of doing this in conjunction with the community and then our internal team as well too. So
For sure. And so
and just real quick, and it was mentioned in chat. I know it was kind of meant to meme and kind of like take a shot at us. Episode 1 year anniversary, like. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's been a year since we've updated, and that's kind of one of the
It's a
reasons
big
we're,
problem.
wanting to do this. So,
Mhm.
if we take another year between updates, then that's, I mean, what's on us to begin with, but that is really on us and a giant failure.
I'll
So,
put see if I can't get
something we're going to be fixing going forward.
Here's the Twitch chat for y'all.
Mhm. And so what does that look like moving forward? So starting in August, and if you look at the calendar, we're in August. So
Already,
basically,
yes.
what we're looking at doing for the first kind of round of changes, while we're kind of waiting on some of the episode 2
Could be
content
there,
art
Brian.
stuff to be finished, so that way we can kick that into high gear. We're going to be looking at some of the end game, specifically trying to make some of the game modes feel better, trying to make some of the loot rewards feel more open, have more variety. And so that first change is, focusing on endless survival, having something for players to take their really hard-earned gear and push the game to its limits, doing wave after wave of survival, and just seeing where their builds break down, optimizing, trying new strategies, the whole ordeal. And additionally moving on to like a pure strategy. Currently, survival is very much the only game mode that gets played at the end game, mainly due to Rifted, and so we're going to be looking at how we can rework some of the other game modes, and provide more meaning for this. So we're going to be changing up some of the goals. In the survey, there's actually a write-up of how this kind of will work, but this is just a short description. So make sure you take a look at the survey for the actual changes.
Yeah,
HUD party bar.
eventually we kind of hope to get to a point where survival is not the only thing that you play. Like, it might take us a while to get there. May have to, tweak the numbers quite a bit and figure out a good spot to land. But, that's kind of the goal with this, is to get to a point where you're just not playing the same game mode for the best reward.
For sure. HUD party bar is a popular request. It was in something we were added for DDGR, and so it's being taken and reworked for DDA, so that way you can see things like player health, level, and ready up status on the other party members in your group. Additionally, like I said, one of the other areas is having more open variety for loot. So weapons and pets, trying to figure out areas we can improve and add additional engaging aspects to them. Maybe it's rebalancing, maybe it's adding a little bit more flair to some of the pets, or ability tweaks. Taking a close look at both weapons and pets across the board and trying to find some wins there. This is a big one that at least gets talked about a lot. Attack rate caps. it's something that we definitely hear players, and we're going to be looking at least cutting them in half to start with. This will definitely start with a PC change, and then as that goes through PTR, we will do some performance investigations for Xbox and PlayStation to see, if it is viable and
Damn
if
Twitch,
it meets,
forced ads,
the
forced Twitch
platform,
ads.
requirements that
Hell,
they
Twitch.
have. So if those look all good, which I am hopeful for that, so we'll see.
Yeah,
But
like I said, it's something we're going to try. Something that will the numbers may have to be maneuvered one way or another, so it may not be.
I don't want your
exactly
Marie
in half, or
Callender's
it may end
pot
up,
pie right now.
Get completely
Get
reverted.
that
It's just
shit
a
off my
matter of
screen.
what we can make work for the most people and what feels good for everyone involved. So
Thank
that
you.
means
it would mean a
attack.
faster attack rate. Yeah, faster attack rate. It's kind of So for those of you who don't know all of the history, and I still learn it from here and there. Got quite a bit of history here, but at one point the attack rate was uncapped, and that created some performance issues. But a lot of people in the community really preferred the higher attack rate cap, and that's kind of been a feature that.
That right there is a
Previously, we've
pure
kind of just said that
display
we're not
of
going
why
to
you must
redo
voice your
or look at
opinions.
it anymore.
Because the
But
percentage of
now we
people
kinda
that
have the
actually
opportunity
gave
to
a
do
shit about
so,
the
and
attack rate
also,
caps
like,
was so
just to make
super
sure
low,
that, we can't make it work in some
but
way.
they were
So,
noisy as
that's kind
fuck.
of the impetus for that.
So if you sit there and you be quiet,
And then lastly,
you don't get a
some
payday.
quality of life
If you
changes
yell
with
and
bonus
scream,
waves.
you're
One
gonna
of the
get
things
paid.
that's kind of been suggested ever
The
since
squeaky
bonus
wheel
waves
gets
came
the
out
grease. Isn't that the saying?
is scaling up the whole map rather than just the one additional wave at the end. This is mainly just due to it's not as fun to have 3 waves that you're just going to completely steamroll
I
and then
agree.
have that one challenging wave. So we wanted to, give a way for the entire map to be, that meaningful progression.
Same in real life, absolutely.
Playing a Lycan King bonus wave and then just having the 23, 24, and 25 be really challenging. And this also scaling up the whole map will definitely play into endless survival a lot better than just having the one additional wave. So that change also kind of plays into that. Anything you want to add?
No, that all sounds good. We're just trying to give people trying to vary up the end game a little bit, try and give more people. I mean, this whole initiative is about breathing life back into the game, having a better rapport with community, and getting
Sorry, y'all,
more,
their volumes are not
quick and
right.
timely updates
So
out,
Andrew is way lower than
to
Phil.
where we can iterate on the changes a little quicker than previously, obviously.
If I turn it back up, Phil is
And
going to
yeah,
be
just
like
continue that dialogue back and forth,
blasting.
and get those changes implemented quicker than 1 year.
So yeah, this is stuff that we'll all be looking at putting on a PTR. There might be some smaller additional things here and there, but this is generally the scope at what we're looking at for changes in August.
I would assume that will come soon then.
Moving on to episode
A PTR,
2.
that is.
So obviously episode 2 has been long in the making, and some things are definitely there. Some parts are more finished than others. We have 2 of the maps that we've shown off. They still need some gameplay tweaks and whatnot. Runes we've used in DDGR, so there's gonna be some RD work done there. Trading is definitely something that has been worked on already, and we're finalizing and kind of getting some additional things for that before we get into UI work. And then lastly, the Outcast. So these are all things that we're looking at putting into a.
It's split into 2 parts, Brian. The second
kind of like
hero
a
would come in part 2
of episode 2.
What you see here is part 1 of episode 2.
Breaking up the episode into from this really large chunk to smaller pieces that we can get out to the community in more consistent and faster times, because it's been a long time, and so delaying episode 2 to finish the rest of it.
Yep, episode 2 of the episode 2.
People have waited
exactly
so long already is something that we didn't want to do. So we're gonna break it up, and then if this is something that players like, getting smaller chunks of content more consistently, we may look at doing the same thing for episode 3 down the road.
I think in an ideal world, we would like to have, episode 2 be a standalone episode and have, the big influx of all of the new items and all the new maps and all the new heroes and everything at one time, and then have episode 3 be the same. I think that's traditionally the way a lot of games have done things. And I think under better timelines, we would have done it that way. Episode 2, I think with the kind of content drought that we've gone through, it makes sense to break it up in a way that we have, some content ready at this point, some meaningful content ready at this point. So
It's pretty fair,
to get
really.
that out as early as
Give
we
me the
can,
give me
as
something,
well
you know.
as still have meaningful content for the second part of episode 2. And then whether episode 3, kind of like Phil said, if episode 3 ends up being dropped in a similar fashion, is going to kind of come down to metrics and just community feel and just internal timelines and that sort of thing. But just kind of want to set expectations there. So episode 3 is not decided as far as I know, at least as far as how it will drop.
I mean, that's
but,
the main
we're
complaint for
focused on episode
people
2,
is
and
not
then,
consistent
once
updates.
again making changes.
So if they're unable to
dropping in,
deliver their original
parts ends up
goals,
being better
then
for the
yeah,
community,
split
then
it up.
something
Give me
we can-
something to do, though.
For sure.
So I mean, in my opinion, that's a
and
great
I guess
thing.
Moving on, so timelines. One of the things that this whole community task force is where we're gonna aim to do is be more open and transparent about the timelines of things, and that means talking to you guys more about changes and stuff like that, giving you guys reasons why things are not going as quickly as we thought, or if things are going faster, being able to be more open about that.
No, there's no date
And
yet.
additionally,
Blackbird. There's stuff
we're
coming.
trying
The
to
pre-episode 2
provide
stuff,
more
which is
consistent
pretty
updates.
huge, is coming this month.
So
or the
trying
start
to
of it
shoot
anyway.
for maybe 1 or 2 updates a month, whether those are balance changes or small features or larger things. We'll have to see how things play out, but
Says
we
late
definitely just wanna
September,
try and
early October
keep
on
a
episode
more
2.
open line of
Or on the
communication
first
and
part of episode 2.
consistent updates going forward for the game.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself.
And then, as always, community feedback is going to be the backbone of this whole task force. So, we're going to be doing more surveys. We're going to be doing more, community outreach. We're going to, potentially look at doing some other ways of gathering information and just figure out what ideas and changes you guys want to see, and then, work on those.
A couple questions. I think we're pretty much done with the, if I'm looking at it right, done with the forum post there for the most part. And obviously, still behind the scenes, this is a DDA stream, but we are working on DD2 and DDGR in the background. Just don't have any significant updates, and also wanted to, focus on DDA for the time being. We just had a couple questions come through. Somebody, let's see, somebody was having a problem playing with hackers. Is that anything that you've heard anything about recently changing, Phil?
No, I mean,
Don't play with
anyone that
hackers.
we've seen,
Easy.
anyone that gets flagged by our anti-hack gets separated from players.
There's
so
a setting for that, y'all. in the options.
Unless there's,
Just make it so that
other
hackers
things that
can't
we're
group
not
with you,
aware of.
and you won't be able to join their games either. You don't have to
Should
worry
be,
about it.
And hackers, there may be some difference with the PTR as well. I'm not for sure on that, but PTRs usually run a little wonky in that regard. Dynamic asked, will the UI get an update? Feels kind of clumpy. I always go back to DD2 specifically for the UI.
Well, it's just
Um,
that's the entertainment for some
To
people.
be honest, I don't
you know?
think we have any plans to do any major UI overhauls. Those are
UI's a way bigger task than than anyone realizes, including myself up into to a point. Like I'm just like, let's fix the UI, and I'm like, no, there's a billion work that goes into that.
yeah.
1 billion work.
UI work can.
What's going on there, Goblin? How you doing?
Eat time like no other. It's something that if there's certain areas we can improve, we'll definitely look into those. If there's like we did with the sell all hotkey and adding more gameplay options and stuff like that. If there's small things we can target and do, I'm all for those. But I don't foresee us doing any major overhauls because it's just a lot of time sink involved with
1 billion work.
No,
Um,
crossplay
But
is
yeah,
not really on the
definitely,
horizon.
If
Cross
there's certain areas,
saves
reach out to us.
is
and
potentially,
we'll
but not
see what we can do.
crossplay.
Hero Boy asks, does cutting attack rate in half mean you guys will have to abandon the Switch version because
it's fair there, Goblin.
doesn't run well as it is. You mentioned the other platforms, but not Switch specific. Did you want to talk to any about that specific Switch related, Phil?
Yeah, so everything we're doing is still going to be released on Switch. The only thing that is not being projected for Switch is that attack rate cap change. But, you know, as far as all the other changes and adding, you know, all the episode content, like all that.
It's a dark hole,
still
a
aimed
very
to be
dark
added on the
path
Switch.
that
We're
they
not
need to make sure to stay
abandoning
away
Switch. We're
from.
just being realistic about what the Switch port can handle. And
DD1 is a
attack rate
glaring
caps is not
example
one
of what
those,
happens when
unfortunately.
PC and consoles
some
get too
reason-
far apart.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if for some reason
We're
there's
going
some
crazy.
major breakthrough and it's possible, then maybe we'll look at it. But realistically, we're just targeting PC and then potentially consoles at the moment.
And keep
Sorry,
in mind,
must
too,
be a
is,
FedEx
like,
guy or
with
something.
the attack
All the dogs
rates,
are going ape shit.
The attack rate caps being halved. There are other potential balancing concerns that come in that, you know, because how things scale in that regard can.
What's going on,
change based
Markmus?
on
Going good, man.
Different defenses, so that's something we'll monitor as well. So it's that's one of the things that we're kind of open to taking risk on. Also, we need the sound when an ogre appears, as in DD1.
Sound is.
That's not really a question. It's more of a hey, do this, and like I don't know how we're. That's the first time I've seen that, but I mean, it sounds like it can be something that we could look at. So
Well, let's get into some DDA gameplay, and we can answer questions along the road.
certainly. And before we do that, we'll go ahead and roll the first giveaway. Or
Let's watch Phil and SNK get carried.
Community Task Force in, and we're gonna be rolling here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Give you a little bit more time before I say 1 and roll it. JT Vano. That's how I'm gonna call you. I don't. Just a lot of letters there. Congrats, JT Vano. Make sure. Hey, there you go. And I'm gonna get. Go ahead and put the.
It's like the chat
This is
window
what you
needs
have
to
your
go
choice
up a little,
of,
huh?
And let me know what you would like, and I will send you a code for it in your Twitch.
Put it like right there.
Let's see. Glad you guys are taking our feedback or more on more frequent, smaller releases.
A little
the game
wonky, huh?
now needs content. Focus. The game now needs content. Focus on that, and you'll have a bigger community. Well, glad to hear your appreciation.
So put it there.
And
can you
definitely
talk-
agreed with that.
Wait, it doesn't look too
Can you
bad.
talk more about
They're getting a little
your vision for the
pixely.
end of the year for
That's
DDA?
not my stream, y'all. That's their
so
stream.
that post that there should be a link that is in
Phil
the chat.
or whoever's streaming's having a
Kinda
connection
outlines
issue.
What we're looking at, it's mainly going to be the August changes, and then kicking episode 2 into full gear and getting that out as soon as possible.
How close to 50K now? Let's see.
That's pretty much going to be most. I think that's going to be really the rest of the year is August updates, maybe some other things.
I only picked up
in between,
one,
and
so
then,
we're at 27.
Episode 2 content.
27 away from 50K.
All right, we got
What do we
Mini
want our next hashtag to
Shadow.
be? What do we want our next hashtag to be? Of course, JT Vana.
I still haven't gotten
Hashtag-
Ling on my main account either.
Let's see.
Quite a bummer.
Where did you get hashtag community task force? Hashtag DDA news.
That's
Something-
right.
I can tell you guys when I get to 50K, there's going to be a big giveaway started. So
And
if you guys want that giveaway to
hashtag
start,
DDA
better
news
subscribe.
is the second hashtag of the day. I didn't
Tell us
realize
how
that
many
CTF is also
engineers.
capture the flag for all of those FPS players out there.
I don't know what your question is specifically referring to about how many engineers play Dungeon Defenders game.
Ling is
You might need to elaborate on
kind of
that one
fun.
a little bit.
I played around with Ling a little
mean,
bit on that alt account.
We have a handful of programmers on the team, if that's what you're referring to. Let's see,
When
what
will
do
there
we-
be a new class? The first
Get some of that wonderful RNG. That's right.
which is
Well, you get to steal mine away. That's
which is
the
gonna
real
post in
benefit.
September,
the
October.
Outcast.
Yeah, the Outcast, and that'll be our next DDA character. So
Yeah,
September,
we're-
October.
That's what we're aiming for at the moment. Late September, early October is kind of the timeline we're looking at right now. If that changes for whatever reason, we will definitely provide updates on that and kind of keep you guys more looped in than we have in the past on why we haven't given dates and stuff like that. So we're gonna try our best. Obviously, we're not perfect, but
You need to turn their bit rate down a little
all we
bit.
can do is look.
Get
all
rid
we
of
can
them
do is look
pixels.
forward.
Do you guys operate on sprints? If so, how long are they? It's kind of a production question, and I don't want to answer that unless you do. I don't want to personally answer that because I don't have as much insight into the workings of.
Yeah, we do sprints. They
Yeah.
typically go 3 weeks. Is kind of what
3
we.
Didn't know if they were 2 or 3. Depends on the depends on the
It-
process
it-
as well too.
Yeah, we typically do 3-week sprints. Let's see. I think. Did I?
We're probably not going to update after every sprint because a lot of those things that we do in the sprints are handled, are a lot of
Nah.
internal documentation and programming and stuff that just doesn't necessarily always translate externally very well.
Subs go up
And
and
then also, if you were
down.
to
So
go,
when you
you know,
unsub, it
30
takes one
updates on
away,
the
and then when you
internal
sub, it adds one.
a lot of people don't part of our any of our updates whatsoever.
Can we talk more about endless survival? So in the survey, there's actually a little write-up there, but I'll talk a little bit about it. It's fairly straightforward. It's we're taking the endless survival, or we're taking survival as it currently is, and just allowing you to play past 25, with each wave getting a little bit harder and harder, until you eventually lose due to just the sheer difficulty. As far as rewards, we're not going to be giving you better loot. That is something that has been very vocal from the community. They don't want to see power creep, and they also don't want to trivialize what is, Dungeon Defender's.
Well, that's a
probably
little bit
main
of a bummer.
quality, which is being a loot grind, like being a big loot heavy.
I mean,
game.
I can see why, but
But that said, we will be looking at some cosmetic stuff to kind of sprinkle in to Endless Survival. So maybe if you get to a specific high wave, we will give you like a cosmetic reward for that accomplishment.
should at least give us the same
Yeah.
quality as a.
So that's kind of what we're looking at.
Like, if you get past the difficulty of Liking
It's
King
another way
bonus
to play
waves,
with,
you should at least be getting Liking
additional
King bonus
rewards,
wave quality loot.
And especially
You know?
with the ability to do like pet transmogs and stuff now, we've got some extra options for rewards that we can do. So
I'm
lot of new
assuming
cool
that's
stuff.
what they meant. It just won't be like a higher tier or whatever
We're
until
using
a higher
sludge
tier
launchers
releases.
today.
Which, I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
fine with that.
proving that it's not just wisps that are busted.
Sludge launchers might be more powerful than wisps in some cases.
Sludge launchers are the strongest
They are.
defense in the
Your
game.
wisp slander on this stream.
They are quite strong.
We do not slander wisps on official streams.
Let's
Anytime you see
Now with
sludge
Endless
launchers getting
Survival,
spammed,
will
you know
there
the
be
person's just doing lazy mode.
news with the
Whoever
bosses
built
on boss map. So kind of the general thought behind that.
I mean, it's
is
broken.
Every 5th wave, so like wave 30, for example, will be a boss wave where you get, your
Yeah, they're really,
specific-
really
like,
strong.
if you're on a summit, you'll get the ancient dragon fight, and then additionally for completing that 5th wave, you'll also get another wave 25 victory chest. So because one of the things people farm is 23, 24, and 25 to get that victory chest, we still wanted to allow people to have the quality of
They
life to
haven't
keep
been
playing
changed
while
on the
also
PTR.
getting
There was no
victory
nerfs.
chests. So those will be
On the
available
PTR,
every
only buffs.
5th wave. And they'll be the same loot.
Oh, they're broken right now in the live
same-
game. It's the most powerful
same loot
defense in the
rolls,
game.
Same potential.
I mean,
as
there's
wave 25.
no if,
They're not
ands, and
gonna
buts.
be
It's the most
boosted
powerful
or
defense in the
anything
game.
like that.
Will you be boosting the drop rate of better gear though?
We don't have any current plans to boost any of the rates or anything with loot for Endless Survival.
You've been
Once
broken.
again,
You've been
that's something
ignoring
that,
them.
like,
Oh
could
yeah.
change. I don't want to speak for you on this, Phil, but like that's something that like in theory could change if it ended up working out that way. But it's not on the radar as of now. like, and that's kind of one of the things too. We don't really have a lot of hard stops on these sorts of things. So like, you know, the idea is we might get pretty out there with some of the things we end up doing. So, so yeah, you think it can? I mean, like, I think kind of the most indicative thing of that is the attack rate cap. You know, that's like I said, for a while we've kind of had a hard line of like, oh, we're just keeping it, and that hard line is, I don't know if it's gone, but it is definitely a dotted line at best now.
So if we're not increasing loot, then why would you play Endless Survival? That's a good question. So there's 3 reasons why you would play Endless Survival. A, you're probably already grinding survivals like 23, 24, and 25. So it's a quality of life feature to just be able to not have to rebuild every 3 waves. You can just keep playing your one build and, you know, upgrade it as you keep going. So that's a small quality of life, or could actually be a big quality of life,
decent,
depending who you ask.
This
Additionally,
is Phil.
the cosmetic rewards
it's
are
Phil.
there for.
Yeah, it's Phil.
if
That's actually
you
streaming.
If you manage to get into the higher waves, you can get these cosmetic rewards that
Phil got a
prove that you
potato
are,
internet
you know,
connection.
a superior
That's why it's all
player, and
pixely.
that, you know, you got the
Thanks for the ad,
diamond
Twitch.
dragon by beating, you know, like wave 25 or by beating wave 50 or whatever it has.
The diamond
has
corgi
been.
dragon.
Yeah. And so like you get these cosmetic rewards that, you know, as a small incentive to keep playing. And then the third reason that we're looking forward, or that we're aiming for, is leaderboards at some point. So having, you know, some competition between other players to see who can push the highest is something that we want to get in. I don't know if that's something
An
that will be
actual
there day
difficulty-based
one, but
leaderboard. Wow, that'll
it's
be something
definitely
new for the
end goal
Dungeon
to
Defenders
have,
franchise.
You know, leaderboards to see, like, so you can compare against other players, and just adds like a level of competition and community aspect to the
You're
game.
gonna have to kill a boss every 5 waves, and it's gonna
And,
be.
you know, we kind of mentioned this earlier,
I wouldn't
but,
count
you know,
on
all
it
the
being
different game modes
AFK.
we have, you know, some of them are underused.
I mean,
not
if the
used at
scaling
all,
is
and,
going to keep going
you know,
up, you
we
already
don't
get your
want them
shit
to do
pushed in
nothing,
on a Lycan
so
King
there
bonus
are
wave.
ways that we're looking into
So if you
making
get
them,
past the
you know,
scaling
relevant
point
in
of a
their own
Lycan
ways,
King
and
bonus
that
wave,
may,
there
you know,
will
that
be
may
no.
make
It's
the
not going
mark
to be
right off the bat
AFK.
be very excited about that, but also we may miss and have to do some retooling. So
And then when the boss
you
comes,
know,
of course,
keeping,
that's not going to be AFK.
I'm blanking on the other game mode right now that we're redoing. my brain is fried.
Talking about what he's
but
doing
yeah,
now. Well,
survival-
Phil is far
the
from a
idea is not to
pro.
have survival be the only game mode.
If he wasn't
yeah,
getting
obviously,
carried,
you know,
he would get beat down.
If you don't want to push higher waves, then that's not something you have to do. You can gladly just keep playing the same way as you want. But
Developers
this
are
also
never
just
the best
gives
players at their
players
games.
A reason
You know?
to use their high-end gear as well. Like a lot of the content can be outpaced currently by the gear you get, and so having a reason to use that perfect stat roll that you got on a high upgrade roll piece is just useful in general.
Well, that's the thing, is the engineering aspect of it is his job. So when you're staring at the game and a game engine all day long for your work, the last thing you want to do is play it when you get home, you know?
To be honest, I don't have any immediate plans to do anything special with gold. I think trading, we'll see how trading goes with the current economy. But trying to predict how the economy will play out is a extremely.
As soon as they start paying you for that, watchers, then it's your job.
People hire for gaming economists
Until they start paying you.
In some companies, which is crazy, but I understand it.
I think eventually we might try to figure out, how we can sink some of the gold out of the game.
Here's what we can do. Whenever you repair your towers, it costs you real gold. I'm sure that'll go over real well. I'm sure you guys would love that, right? Real gold.
That'd be fine in some situations.
To repair and upgrade your towers. That's good, right, chat?
Let's see, will there be a change to give all mana back from an upgraded tower if it was?
I mean,
just
that's
built?
basically DD1.
I could be behind that change.
Your mana was the currency.
If you had just built that tower in a build phase, refunding all the mana for the upgrade.
Yeah,
nice little
that
quality
sounds
life.
really good. Yeah, I always hate it. Like that always happened to me in like City Skylines or any other like sim
Okay.
game. You're just like, I'm gonna build all these roads, and then you're
Little
like, I
pro
don't need to build these
parkour
roads. You have to download a
extraordinaire.
mod so that you get full gold back for when you build
Right
the
in
road
the
no
drink.
more. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I have never done that before.
Let's see. There's a lot of questions. I'm definitely
No,
missing
no,
some.
like yeah, that's. And make sure you get your hashtags in, by the way, guys. We got another roll coming here in the next couple minutes. So hashtag DDA news if you haven't got it in already.
Will difficulty ramp up in endless? Yes, that is essentially the whole purpose. Is that it just continually gets harder and harder.
It will be
Spectate
infinite
every-
waves of increasingly lower difficulty. Don't ask why.
So it'll be what DD2 Onslaught was supposed to be.
Will you be adding
Before they gave us that
more
ass system
mob
they
or
did.
map-specific loot? I feel like Dungeon Infinite 1 had a lot of loot based off the map, difficulty, and challenges. It's definitely something that I'm wrapping my head around still. Challenges specifically. I know they played a very key part in DD1, especially with weapons. So I'm, kind of digging into
Accessories too.
that kind of research and seeing what can be done to kind of
Best change
spread
to
out
Onslaught
some
is
of
not having
the
to play it.
loot between
It
all
was
the
very
game
true.
modes to have more purpose.
Very, very
Let's get
true.
those hashtags in. After this wave, we will roll. So you guys have a couple minutes here still.
I think the Jester is pretty highly requested, Goblin. I think that's probably a pretty realistic thing. Obi-Wan, what's up, man? How you doing?
But yeah, make sure you guys go check out the news post, and then additionally at the bottom in the survey section there is a new survey, so make sure you go fill that out as well.
Which you can also win pizza wings from. So if you guys missed the giveaway here, you guys get a
Well,
secondary chance.
I mean, it's not going to be a wheel Jester.
Well,
And
there's
if it
two
is
heroes in the next
does have
pack.
the wheel, it'll be balanced a lot more.
Well, we're gonna be splitting episode 2, so there'll be one hero with the first part, and then another hero with the second part. We're splitting episode 2.
yes.
Yeah, we're splitting episode 2 just to make sure that we can, give a
Oh, the wheel was crazy
a
broken.
quicker update
Loved it.
sooner, and then try to be more consistent.
I ain't gonna
with it in the
lie.
future.
I spammed that wheel.
A couple of streams ago, Lalta mentioned venturing into adding more elemental combo type stuff, similar to D2. Have you had any discussion on that? Been more in a few streams because Lalta hadn't been on. It's been a minute since we've had some Lalta action on stream.
Yeah.
So been more than a couple streams ago, and
I'll be doing a TLDW video after the
After
stream.
Phil?
Obi-Wan to get everybody caught up.
I mean, the one thing when it comes to elements, I want to look at making sure that all the elements beyond just fusion have their use cases, whether that's allowing you to tailor your build and your item effects and potentially runes to be like more fire oriented or lightning and stuff like that, just to give more diversity. But I don't think DDA needs any kind of crazy elemental combos like DD2 has. But it's something that could be.
I would
potentially
agree.
looked at.
Game
Nothing
breaking in
the immediate
DD2.
way.
So we could, yeah, it's one of those like really cool things that we, in a perfect world we'd love to do. But I think getting the elemental system in a better spot, like you said, making it more.
I mean, it's in a
useful
terrible
using
place in
weapons as opposed
DD2.
to Just fusion gear.
As
First
far
it
as
is
game
the first
balance
up there, and
goes.
then we can, look at expanding
So,
that, so.
The last thing
But yeah,
they
no,
want to
it's
do is
definitely
put that
good
in
to do.
another game.
Let's see. The leaderboard on Endless, will it be master difficulty only, or would it be like, because obviously people playing on easy would get crazy high scores without that.
I mean,
How
the leaderboards will probably just have a
Difficulty.
drop down. So yeah, I don't imagine we're gonna be like only massacre.
Well, I guess
but
one of the problems with that, and I think this is maybe what they're getting at, is like somebody's gonna get bored one day and play easy mode with their GG gear, and then make the leaderboard 1 billion score, and then I mean, but I don't know if there's a way to really prevent that. I don't know.
I mean,
that's something we
it
can
could
look
just
into
be-
those like a.
It would just be like an easy filter, though.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not
we
like
could- we
it's
could
not
look
like
at-
you would do.
Yeah, that would
wave,
be a
like,
pretty easy fix.
1,000 on easy, and then somehow be like top on the leaderboards for massacre.
I think there will,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
want
that
to
would be-
try a duration run to go as far as you can, then
All right,
easy is
what
where
map
you
are
would
we doing
start.
now?
You know, give you more time.
The,
But on the
Twitch
same note, I
first.
mean, how much?
Twitch giveaway map? Are you
Yep,
confirming
it's-
something that hasn't been?
Yep,
confirmed?
it's a Twitch giveaway map, and it's being revealed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is revealed to be Maddie186. You have won the Twitch giveaway map.
Congrats.
It's more just a giveaway, not a map.
But yeah,
it's like a map, but with codes. Maddie, let me know
Well,
in chat there.
I mean, I would
Uh,
agree
you
with you, Mushroom
are
Cake. But the
still
question
here.
would be,
And
hey,
you
speaking
need
of,
a
you didn't do your snowman event yet,
as
did you? I need to do
always.
that still.
This is what we're playing for. There you go. Let me know what you want.
Anyway,
I
the
will give
thing
you
with
a
Redux is that was
on
fixing a
Twitter
broken
in just a
mechanic.
second.
So rather than, or you did do it. I looked through the forums. I didn't see your post.
Victory prize.
Do it again, damn it. Do it again. That way I got somebody to run it with.
Friend.
So I mean, ideally, you would get the wheel in a less broken form first,
The rewards for endless survival can be some in-game
instead of
currency,
having
as
the
well as
repaired
like
version of a
DDA,
broken
which is
mechanic.
trades,
You
keeps
know.
people motivated. Oh, interesting. Like that's definitely like like I said.
I mean, it only takes 10 minutes, if that. You only got to do wave 23 and 24, right?
There's a spreadsheet for it.
Super
somewhere,
fast.
and I'm sure that will make it on the
Actually did it
do this spreadsheet.
solo, but
Also, I think something
I forgot to
keep
make it a
in
public
mind is
game,
that
and I
when it
was
comes
wondering
to,
why
like,
no one
features like
joined.
endless survival or just like anything that we're doing, some of the things might start off kind of small and then we're build off of them. So like endless survival might not have leaderboards to start with, or it might not have a ton of.
Well, keep an eye out on
rewards.
on my
That's stuff
Discord
we can,
server
add
later
as
on.
Players, engage
If anyone's
with game
up
mode,
night
and give
tonight.
feedback, and just like ultimately figure out where we should be spending time on things.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a DDRNG
In an
specific
ideal
thing.
world, this becomes a back and forth conversation with the community. We get good ideas, we implement said ideas. Some of them work, some of them don't, and we keep the good ones, get rid of the bad ones.
Or I haven't seen anything
learn
about
from
it.
Mistakes and go from there. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
And,
want to do. I want to do
on,
something that's
on this
available
next
to
one.
everyone in the community. You know.
The Summoner remake, which is the Outcast, will be in the first part.
I don't want to force people, basically. I mean, anyone that's playing DD1, it's in their right mind to join the DDRNG Discord server. Oh, I didn't see your cosplay. I'll have to look.
Large traps.
It's the place to be if you're a
Boy,
DD1
are
player, But I didn't want to
Leaderboards
include
only
something that
start from
forced
the
people
same
to join
set,
it.
your challenges like the boss challenges.
I'll have to check it out.
I understand.
Depending on how those are, I may end up doing a video.
Will the Outcast be able to attack? I actually don't know quite yet. It's something that I want to survey, because I do think there's definitely importance to keeping
Cosplayed as
the,
Mr.
the
Crackers.
summoner
That's
very
funny.
similar to the DD1 in a lot of regards, with the Overlord mode and just how the minions work and whatnot. But I do think there are some things that could potentially, be a little bit more reimagined to kind of fit DDA.
I don't even know what to do to enter that one. I was debating on not entering it.
No, but I definitely think it's something that should at least be entertained and see what the community thinks. I do think having two pets was like a cool feature for the Outcast, stuff like that.
Oh, gotta have two pets.
Last one is going to be hashtag take the survey. In the post, there is a survey. Make sure you take the survey. This whole new
Take the
initiative with
survey.
DDA. Yeah. This new initiative with DDA, it requires requires us to execute, but also requires you guys to keep giving us the same good feedback that you've been giving us. Our community surveys have gone
Spider
over
Queen
super,
cosplay.
super
Holy
well.
crap, man.
I mean, we literally had an entire patch
That'll be intensive.
dedicated to things only in the survey.
See, I don't have time to put together a really cool
or that we,
costume. I would have to
you guys
do
on, you guys
quite a bit of
requested, so,
Photoshop.
I I would expect to see more
With
of that in the
mine.
future, and that requires you guys to take surveys. So we'll still incentivize you with, candy in regards to.
I need me a Rainmaker, though. God damn it.
Pizza wings.
It's like the one thing that I'm
Yeah,
missing
take
out of
surveys.
DD1 events
Take 'em.
that's like a hot item that I just
Or-
never got. I actually had one, but it was
I mean,
given
you
to
still
me
can't include
specifically to
Rainmaker
give
in
away.
Anonymous, but
So I did the
you
right
feel
thing
bad
and
about
gave it away
letting
and
you
didn't
go.
keep it. I was hoping by doing that they would have
Pretty
given me
sure
another
we'll
one,
allow
but they
people
didn't.
to start on higher waves for endless survival.
Needs me a Rainmaker.
Because otherwise, it push to
Come
a
on,
really high
SKF.
and then
Hook
you
it up,
lose.
bro.
You might not want to push all the way back. So it'll probably be something that will allow players to, go back to. Maybe it's like specific milestones that they can start at. So like maybe every 5th wave you can start at it, or maybe it'll just be every wave. We'll see.
Do we have any Nick asked about the PTR rewards? Did we have a little more of an update on when those are gonna get handed out, or?
I would say fairly soon after the PTR update actually goes live. We'll have to close down the survey, and then we have to essentially gather all of
Bill's got some tater internet
entries and
connection,
then
huh?
not manually, but
Jeez.
you have to put them into a system to hand those all out. So should be fairly quick after the update goes live.
Soon. TM.
Well, Chromatic, the chances of Chromatic hiring me for anything are non-existent.
Yes. Shortly
Are
after
we-
I mean,
the
they've
update
never
goes
even
live,
sponsored
we're
one of my
ready.
streams.
I'm ready up.
You know,
Good to go.
I've never been
Yeah.
paid by Chromatic
I
in
will
the
still
last
upgrade
decade.
that.
Never, not once. The closest
getting
thing to that
upgraded.
is several of their developers have subscribed to me personally on their personal accounts on Twitch.
In-game gold or real USD.
But that's the closest thing I've ever had to receiving any money from Chromatic.
So dropping items is probably not gonna be something we do.
I mean, if they had a position that met my skill
I
set,
understand the
I would
reason
probably
why
apply for it.
people
Yeah,
want
I mean, obviously, I'm very invested in
but
the
there's some technical
the Dungeon
challenges,
Defenders universe.
Challenges with that. Something I would be more inclined to implement than dropping on the ground is like some kind of trophy.
They don't
case
pay
that you
people
can
in the
put an
community.
item into.
Ooh, that would be dope. I like
And
that.
I mean, if you look at it from the
And-
business
and so you're not
perspective,
just, like,
why would you?
Mindless.
People
that
in the
way you're not
community
just,
are going to
like,
be playing the
dropping
game
items
anyway,
on the
so
ground
you don't
and
have to play
allowing
them.
people to pick
Have
them
to
up
pay
in
'em.
certain cases, but
Who they pay is people that are big
having a
streamers
more
that are going to play the
controlled
game for a
way
day.
to display
That's who
items,
they
I
would
think
pay.
be probably the better route. And then as far as
Well,
bulk
I mean,
storage,
IHDC is
having, like maybe a storage in tavern
game is a coder. You know, I mean, he brings value to the
that
table. I
definitely
wouldn't bring
would be
value,
very useful for players.
I mean,
especially
marketing,
with, load
but
times.
that's
But there's
you
a lot
know,
of technical requirements.
the only
with
marketing
that,
position
so
they posted is not something that
can't
I
say
meet
for
the
sure that
requirements
that's
for.
something that will be implemented, but it's on a list somewhere of things that could potentially be added.
Throw it on the list. That should have been the hashtag. Hashtag throw it on the list. It's not the hashtag, but that'd have been a good hashtag. I really like the idea of like a trophy case, and you can like.
You got to remember
throw your
too
own
that
items
I'm
and
the
this
good
kind
and the
of stuff, so
bad.
you
There's a
can,
lot of
like,
people
some
at
people-
Chromatic that absolutely hate me.
Yeah, I think finding
That's
a
what I'm
more
about it. If you
control.
can't flex
You've
on
seen my
something, you
rants
do
and
it.
raves in Discord, Mushroom Cake.
I think having maybe we add like a
Not
room
everyone
in
has.
tavern that's just like gear flexing.
Yes.
There's
But
quite
no.
a large number of employees
It's a-
there that
it's
would
a
wish I
gym,
would
but
just
it's
go
just
away.
gear flexing. That's it.
But yeah, no. The main thing with dropping items is that like it becomes
Flex
a
change.
performance. It becomes a performance concern at some point, and also just is not something we have in the game. And we did have dropping items on the ground, and it only proved to be a massive source of duping.
Well, the juicy head flare was a contract
People
issue,
never, do anything illicit in any game ever.
which I can't really get into.
On the internet.
The pet was a very
They
pleasant
assure me
surprise, though. The
there's
juicy fruit pet.
nothing duplicitous going on. Ever. Even when caught.
Phil must be trying to live stream over Wi-Fi here. What the heck? You Wi-Fi streaming, Phil?
Brent's got the names. I like the flex chamber.
Right.
The flex,
Flex
chamber's
chamber.
good. That's really good.
Phil on a hotspot.
And
Hell
what it
yeah.
should be is like you should have the opportunity to like visually lift somebody else's.
He's sitting in a Starbucks right now.
But depending on its item level, it's heavier, and you can only lift it based on your item level, and then you can gradually get a higher max item.
He just
level,
needs to
and
not
that's
try
how
to
you
stream
upgrade your
at
weapons in the game.
1080p 60
That is
with that
what we would
connection.
describe as
If he
feature
dropped it down to
creep.
720p 60, it would
But
look
that-
way better.
But it would be worth the flex palace, aka the gym. Ship it, yeah.
I think
perfect. It's got a lot
mid
of,
Florida has
research
infrastructure
going on
issues,
too, and
is why.
That I mean, I just literally made that up, and it sounds like the bouncing nightmare.
Like South Florida, you can get some
Just
badass,
armory style where they zoom around.
badass
That's,
connections
like,
going. I'm
that would be
assuming,
really cool.
and
You
like
could
around
just,
Orlando,
like,
probably.
view my arsenal, and they all just like fly in from the sides, and you're just like, yes. And then you realize it's all like level 30.
Because it's something they already get for free, and in all reality, they don't
As
give a fuck
pretty
about us,
frequently,
Brian.
but is there any,
For lack of
anything
better
new with the
words.
possibility of
They
adding
could care
DLCs
less
to
how
new
successful I
cores?
am.
I assume you mean like course
You
skins?
know, it doesn't
I
affect them at
definitely
all.
think that is something that would
Except
be
for
on the
marketing,
table.
which they have no
Adding,
marketing department.
core skins, maybe we add a couple that can be unlocked in game, and then do some supporter pack core skins would be a good way to, help both of us have, generate some revenue as well as just having things to seek after in game.
Man, Twitch is getting real
but-
uppity on these ads.
I think that's
a
something
Twitch
that
ad playing right now.
potentially be on the table. Adding cosmetic
Rift
cores,
Garden floating shelves.
because it was
What
definitely
I
very
want-
Why
popular.
the
in
fuck is it
DD1.
giving me that ad?
And along with,
I haven't
like,
even
core
searched for anything on the
customization, what I
internet
want as a
involving
purely
Rift
player
Garden
standpoint
floating
and nothing to
shelves.
do with, because this is like saying this is probably gonna be like, oh god, why'd you say that? But like, I want an ability that like has like
I
a
think
core
that's something they
nova
really
or
need
a
to think
core,
about,
like,
Mushroom.
shock to where like I can stun enemies that like get too close to my core, and that like.
Because the
combined
bottom
with
line
mine,
is
I want like
a game's
core room.
long-term
yes, that's- I
development
want a
is going to
core
be based
room.
off of how sustainable
I
it
want one
is,
of
you know?
my- whether it's a new character that has an ability, it's like.
So,
core
I mean, I
shock
agree. They got to
nova
do
and,
something.
like,
They got to look
cool,
at something
of
to
That's
make
what I
the
want.
profitability
And
sustainable.
I
for DDA.
I probably shouldn't have just said that, but you know what? It's Friday. I can say what I want. So,
How will trading work?
I mean, they
Trading,
ought to do something else for
will start off
DD1.
with
Add
being
another.
very traditional in the sense that
They could.
you interact.
They could
with
add a
someone,
DLC to
offer
DD1 right now.
Start a
and people
trade,
would buy
they
it.
Respond
I'd
back,
buy it.
accept the trade, then it opens a UI where both of you can put items up, and then once both of the people are happy with the items, they can both confirm, and then once both people confirm,
Could you imagine
the
a new
items are
hero coming to
transferred.
DD1 right now? That's not a mod.
So-
any of those, are you talking
You
about
know.
DDGR?
I do not have any timeline on DDGR, unfortunately.
There's a lot of like behind the scenes changes going on that. Doing a lot of iteration on different things. So, but nothing that I'm aware of that's worth updating on. But we will provide updates as we have them.
Yeah, that would be really bad
And then also,
for
just
karma.
additionally, we won't have a DD1 shop system. It's something that we may look into in the future, but for now, it's just going to be simple one.
Man, now I'm all
one-person
anxious to beg
trading,
the shit out of
or two
SCAV
people
for a
trading
Rainmaker.
with confirmation.
I guess I can request it as my snowman event
Here in just a few
reward.
minutes,
Doesn't
we
mean I'm
wrap
going
up
to
the
get
stream
it.
here. Make sure you get your hashtag
That
tech
Gaia's
survey
too.
in.
That's
And
the
also
mana
make sure you
gen
actually
regen
take
crossbow,
the
isn't it?
survey.
Gaia's
You lose your right to complain about anything ever
for your
in
genie.
chat for all time. That's how it works. I don't make
Gaia's would be
rules.
on the list. I'm gonna choose. I can tell you what I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose
There's
a
link
Rainmaker,
to the August
Gaia's,
feedback,
and
survey,
Amor.
so definitely go check that out.
Nice,
Amor is a
nice.
pet that I always wished I wouldn't have missed.
Can we get a reduced tax event? I don't run.
That's the
any
three
of
things
the
that'll be on my
DD2
list.
events, but I can definitely pass it along to that team.
Everybody, I mean, Rainmaker is going to be a
more
very popular item.
IDHCs,
But on the same note,
area
I
of
would imagine they've
expertise.
got 6 million Rainmakers sitting to give away. So he said it's based off of not just how many people choose it, but also his inventory. And I'll guarantee you he's got a ton of Rainmakers.
He's watching the stream
I've
right
actually
now, he
got
knows. I don't know if he's watching.
4 of the dice pets, DD.
Might be
The
okay.
event dice pets. I've
Is there
traded
any
for
chance of
those
going
to get more of 'em.
intro of
Gots to have my
PlayStation?
dice.
So one thing that we did for Switch is we actually replaced the intro video with a much more generic, just kind of loading spinning core in the bottom right. And I think
cool.
I think
You don't even want to know
applying
how
that
many runs
to
I've done in
all
Kickpwn.
platforms
I've gotten
is
the
probably
plus
something that
dice,
could be
but they
looked
haven't
into.
had the plus
because we do get
the
a lot
high quality
of
rolls.
mentions about the
I've probably done
the
1,000
cinematic being
at least
overly
King's
loud
Game
and
runs.
just taking a while. Even though that cinematic is a loading screen, so like there is a reason why you can't skip it. I do think there are
Dale.
ways. There are things we can.
I mean,
do
easily
to
1,000.
improve that. Can you increase the max gold trade for like old pets to prevent scammers?
Yeah, that
I
sounds
don't
about
know
realistic.
specifically
1 in
what you're
5K.
referring to. Is this a DD2 thing or a DD1 thing?
With me, you know, I was a craps dealer for so long, mushrooms, so dice are just an important part of my life.
Gonna ask it. Spill
You
the
know.
beans on who the person in the background on the summit map is. Is it related to the old one? Give me lore.
That's going to be the final
I thought you meant
boss.
The old one, like family wise.
I'm not touching that one.
I don't
That
have any
character in the
information on
background
that.
already
That
has a
guy is
name.
very spooky being. Don't know where they came from. But yeah,
I think
definitely
I've got a
should
gif of him somewhere.
definitely should send them back to wherever they came from.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it.
I just
here.
want it-
So make sure you get your hashtag in.
I want it
hashtag
because
pick
I want
survey,
it.
and then actually pick
I mean, I don't
survey.
really have a
And,
need or a use for the
and
dice
thanks again,
pet.
guys. We
I
always
want it for
appreciate,
me. It
you
would
know,
be
you
like
guys
a
bearing with us through
gratifying,
the good and the bad, and we try and
a gratifying
do the best
reward
we can, and
because it
this
matches
is,
my
I think, gonna be a
lifestyle,
good direction
being
going
a craps
forward,
dealer
and,
and a craps boss for so long,
plan on
you
giving
know.
guys some good, cool, new, awesome.
And I found
DDA
plus
content.
pluses. It's just getting that God roll plus
And
plus.
We're rolling
You
in
know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rolling. Not bright orange enough. That is a name that exists in this world.
And I agree
go
with
ahead
him
and let me know
100%.
that, you are there. And as always, here are your rewards. Command and let me know what you want, assuming you are there. And I will get that over to you. And while we're doing this, Phil, do you want to check and see who we got out there to maybe host? I don't know. I know Juice Bags is on YouTube for a minute. I don't know.
YouTube, yeah.
Say hi, YouTube.
Corgo Mask. I see you.
The only one on stream currently appears to be AFK, so not gonna send that way. But we'll spam, you know, Juicebag's link, and he'll give you a quick recap. But I don't think he plans to stream too much longer.
Cowboy
but
Monkey.
definitely go subscribe to him. I think he's actually very close to 50,000 subscribers. So
Yeah,
hell
give me
yeah.
that plug, Phil.
he might have
Shout
already
out to
hit it.
Juice.
I know he's been right on that border.
Somebody tell him in chat. I'm
for a
like 20
while.
away. Come get me.
That's
Come
a
get
big
me.
milestone for
Yeah.
for YouTubers.
So yeah, make sure you guys go check out. He's streaming right now. Go subscribe to him. Get him over 50,000 subscribers. And then yeah, we'll be
27
back.
away. Oh yeah, you guys can get in there. Even if you guys don't like YouTube or don't use it enough, go over there, hit the subscribe button for
What's up,
Juice
Dr.
Bag.
Cups?
He's like the OG
Welcome, welcome,
OG
welcome.
content creator for the community. He needs those 27. You know, let's hit that milestone for him. Especially, you know, with the DDA community and the new stuff coming through. So go there.
And then
Even
make
if
sure
you
you
don't
guys
say it, click the button.
Sir
You
Cake
won't
Pone,
do
appreciate it.
Give him your clicks. Click Juice Bags.
Click on the
and then
things.
make sure you guys go check out the news post. I put a link there.
Possible.
and then the
Today,
survey,
tomorrow, the next day.
Also a link there. And then
I mean, it's possible.
that pretty much wraps up our stream.
I think
Anything
so.
else?
Thanks. Nope.
All right, let's get back to, let's get back to our map then.
Good today for
We're gonna go raid Thuis. How do you say that? Thuis?
Let me go ahead and mute him. Let's go back over to our map that we was running right where I left off. Let's get a little music kicking again. Oh, we're still mid-song, right where we left off. So that's some exciting stuff, really. I mean, I'm pretty stoked for Phil, because Phil, if anyone deserves a shot, Phil is the guy that deserves the shot. You know? Phil is without a doubt the guy that deserves the shot. So I'm pretty stoked to see Phil get an opportunity to make things shine. Do we actually even need... Sean, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome, welcome. I think we've all been there at some point there, Merkham. I'll be doing a recap, but the TLDW, the super summarized recap would be good shit coming in August. Episode 2 is going to be being split into 2 updates. The first part of that will arrive the end of September, early October. That would be the TLDW. And I'll be doing a TLDW video as soon as I get done with this stream, maybe even this map. Phil is going to be in charge of DDA's direction. I'll give you guys the salty and the non-salty versions. Actually, I'll do a TLDW, and then I'll probably do a full-on salted and unsalted version of what's to come, because, you know, let's be honest, y'all, we all have our hopes and dreams that DDA is going to get what we wanted it to get, but there's still quite a bit of salt left in the shaker, so we might as well shake that salt up a little bit. That just happened today, or it was just announced today. I don't know when it actually happened, Mushroom. That's part of today's news, is Phil is given the direction. Why they chose to name that the Community Task Force, I don't know, because there's no community involvement. It's like it's an internal structuring thing. That's terrible, Goblin. Terrible. Yeah, because they want to use community feedback primarily. And Phil is very in tune or in touch with the community too. You know, so... You know, once again, it comes around to... we've heard it all before. How is it going to get delivered? So, yeah, I'll probably actually do a snark-filled. Maybe I'll just do the regular TLDW video, and then I'll do the Salt Shaker TLDW video as well. I'll get them both out there. Yeah, I wasn't expecting an ogre to make it too far. What is getting... These LTs are getting very, very distracted there. You don't think salty juice tastes great? It depends on the juice. Like, you know, if it's a nice sour juice, like say a lime, some sort of lime juice or something like that, the salt is a welcome addition. Are you going to throw, you know, a bunch of salt in your orange juice? Well, definitely not. But, you know, a nice savory and sweet, like a lime juice. Oh, yeah, a little salt goes a long way. Well, I mean, I got to get... one thing I've always tried to do is to not give biased opinions. I always try to give an unbiased news report that's fact about what's coming. But the truth of the matter is I am a Dungeon Defenders player. I've got a lot of passion for the game and the franchise. I've been playing the Dungeon Defenders games all the way back since, not at the beginning, but super early DD1. And, you know, so there's a little salt in the shaker. You know, there's a little salt in the shaker. There is, no doubt. All right, we got us a bonus wave. Now, that was a little sketch on those ogres there. Makes me wonder how well these are going to keep up on the bonus wave. But like I said, I'll do the, I'll report the facts, and then I'll do a separate video that maybe I'll make that an ongoing series. We'll call it the Salt Shaker or something like that. What do we call it? You guys can name it right here. New series incoming. We've got the Dungeon Defenders news, which is always, there's something I've been doing for years, but what about the salty versions, you know? There's a pretty big variance with DD1. That's my only concern. I hope they don't take that route. You know, obviously there's going to be some divide specifically with the Switch. I think Xbox and PlayStation consoles, as far as their hardware, particularly with the newer stuff, the Series X and the PS5 and everything else. Ah, shit. Yeah, this is not going to hold. I think they can handle the same thing that a PC can. But I would hate for there to be a big variance where it's a different game like DD1 is. Because console players really, really missed out on DD1 in a major, major way. Am I going to survive this? I guess we better get boosty. Oh, shit, I got spootered. Oh, no! I don't know. I mean, there's no way of telling that. But, I mean, by writing off the Switch base, that's exactly what they're doing. Look at what happened to console players. DD1 is no different than DD2. There was more console players than there was PC players. And the console version of the game got completely written off. And you don't want the Switch version of the game to get completely written off, you know? I mean, if they have to, then I'm good with it. But how is that going to make Switch players feel, is the thing. If they can do it in a way where it still makes the cross-save promises a reality for Switch, then I think it will be fine. Separate it as much as you need to separate it. But can they do that? Can they do that and make it so it's still the same game? Where Switch has lower caps and lower targets than PC or Xbox or PlayStation? And I would be completely fine with that. But I would just hate to see what happened to DD1 happen to DDA, is the only thing. Well, we survived that, but had to put in some work. So here's the plan today, y'all. I am going to do a DDA news video right now as soon as I get off stream. Actually, I'm going to pee first. But after that, I'm going to do a DDA news video. And then after that, I'm going to be back live streaming again later on. But the PTR, I'm assuming, is going to get shut down. So I'm actually going to take a dip into No Man's Sky after not playing for several years. I haven't played that expedition thing that they added in at all. So I'm anxious to check that out and get going in a little No Man's Sky again. So I think I'm going to do that later on this afternoon. However, I am going to put a TLDW news video out as soon as I can. So it will be published in the next couple of hours. If you're just joining and you're not subscribed, please throw me a sub. It's not a huge deal. I don't get like any reward for it or anything, but it's like a personal milestone. And I've been making YouTube content for almost 10 years now. So getting to 50K would be a major, just personal success for me. And I do appreciate you all. And I will be doing something with the 50K subscribers once I hit it. Let me give you guys an update before I call it a stream here. I am at what? I need 23 more subscribers, y'all. 23 more subscribers. Tell your friends. tell your friends to come subscribe and make their life juicier. I actually played DDE for like 800 hours. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I always also recognized what it was. You know, I played it like 800 hours. Anyway, y'all, thank you all so much for hanging out. More to come later on today with the TLDW news video, and then additionally a little No Man's Sky afterwards. It'll be exciting to jump in and check that in again. But thank you all so much for hanging out. Hook me up and click that like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you hated the stream, hit don't like. Thumbs down or thumbs up are both helpful to me. So help me out and rate today's stream and let me know what you think of it. But thank you all so much once again. And I will see you all soon. Take it easy.